This lesson is going to be on career prep, more specifically the firefighter recruitment process. So who applies to the fire service? The average guy or girl who notices the ad? This is not your competition. Pre-service graduates will have the same credentials as you when you are done this course. This is still not your main concern. Pre-service graduates with additional certifications: water ice rescue, awareness operations technician, hazmat, high angle, confined space, trench rescue. Others may have important life experience and all the right qualifications and certifications: military, trades, construction, paramedics, volunteer experience, even firefighters seeking to move from another department. When should you start applying? Now. Practice makes perfect. The only way you're going to get better at the process is by going through it. Your competition has already written 10 tests. Get out there, compete. You will see the same people in Windsor and Ottawa, all over Southern Ontario. All these dedicated people will eventually get a job. Do not get discouraged. Is this going to get expensive? Absolutely yes. The UFAI certification is around $700. Other departments might be $70 to $100 for every written test. Some departments require two, approximately $200 for each fitness test, another $100 to $150 if a medical test is required, lost money for time off work, wear and tear in your car, gas, food while in another city. You may even need to get a hotel to spend the night. The list goes on and on. How does a city advertise for recruitment for probationary firefighter? The local newspaper, the official city website, internal hirings? This could mean that some jobs will be swallowed up by current city employees seeking for a career change. How do you find out who is hiring? Recruitments have a very short window of opportunity, 1 to 2 weeks to submit your resume. You have to be on the ball. There are two really good sources for information. The first is firerecruitment.ca. They will have almost every firefighter job posting within Canada on their site. Just click on jobs. The second is called firehall.com. I use this site for information gathering only. It's crazy how many people will post who is hiring and when are they hiring. The more that you post, the more you're going to increase your competition. How the process works. Read the application process thoroughly. Employers have no time for mistakes. They're going to get thousands of applications and resumes. Usually the first step is a resume and an application. So how are you going to get to an interview? You need to build your resume, get your resume noticed, and score high on your aptitude test. How are we going to build our resume? Start looking at common things departments are looking for. Again, go back to that website I talked about earlier, firerecruitment.ca. You'll start to see things like must possess valid Ontario license with DZ, successful completion of an NFPA 1001 level 1, 2 plus NFPA 472, successful completion of all stages of the OFAI certification testing, current and valid level CPR, and then you can start to tailor your resume and your courses more specifically. If you look at Toronto's current posting, one of the things they have in there is you must be familiar with the Occupational Health and Safety Act. You can take an Occupational Health and Safety Act course online for about $25. Again, stick to the common stuff first, then branch out and start to make your resume more specific. Has anyone heard of a resume scanner? Pause the video, research, discuss amongst your platoon, look for some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to a resume scanner. A couple of things that I found with resume scanners are they're specific to the file type. Generally, they'll request the file type for you to upload, whether it be a Word or PDF. Make sure you follow their directions. Do not put important details or information in the header or the footer. Some scanners or tracking systems won't be able to pick them up. Make sure you optimize your resume with keywords. Avoid images, charts, and other graphics. Stick to simple bullet points. Some resume scanners won't pick up fancy fonts either. Stick to the basics, Times or Arial. How are we going to score high on an aptitude test? Practice, practice, practice. There's a bunch of study material out there. Barron's Firefighter Exam, Acro Firefighter, the Complete Firefighter Exam Prep Book. There's a website called testreadypro.com. This is just to name a few. For me, writing as many tests as possible is what worked best. One of the more common aptitude tests is called the CPS test. and is generally broken down into 5 categories. The listening to oral passage section. This tests your memory retention. You listen to a passage for approximately 5 minutes and you're not allowed to take any notes. Then the next section is a reading comprehension section. You read a passage, then you have to answer questions. Next is the mathematics section. In this section, you are not allowed to use a calculator. It'll take you back to some grade 7 and 8 math. The next section is mechanical aptitude, and then the final section is dealing with difficult people. The CPS test is 2 hours in length and is a multiple choice test in the English language. Another style aptitude test is called the OS test. This test is ridiculous. It's approximately 250 questions. They give you emergency scenarios and you have to place the response and action in the correct order. Then you're required to answer how you felt about the situation and your actions. In addition, there's also math and mechanical questions as well. Test tips. Write as many as possible. Constantly double check your Scantron sheet. Review the entire test if you have time. Most importantly, when you get out of the exam, write down as many questions that you can remember. I used to always keep a pad of paper in my car. As soon as I came out, I would write down all the questions I could remember. Before your interview, make sure you prepare. Go out and buy yourself a decent suit. If you don't show up in a suit, you will most likely not even be considered. Black or navy are the traditional fire department dress uniform colors and would be recommended. Lyndas.com, there's also some great information. There's a webinar called Ace Your Interview and Mastering Common Interviews. Also use an interview coach. I personally didn't use this guy, but a number of our recent recruits all went to this guy called Gary Wilton. He's a retired Brampton firefighter. His contact information is on the screen. When you get the call, ask who and how many people are going to be on the panel. Prepare portfolios. I'll show you an example of my portfolio the next time we meet. Research about the department you've applied to. I remember I applied to Mississauga, smoked the aptitude test, got called in for the interview. The very first question they asked me is, what was Mississauga's mission statement? I had no idea. I might as well have got up and walked out of the interview. Some of the things that you need to look at for researching departments are how many fire halls they have, what's the vision, the mission statement, the core values, who the chief is, who the deputy chiefs are. One of the things that I got asked when I got hired with Whitby Fire is, what do I know about Whitby Fire and Emergency Services? This time I was prepared. For the interview, there will be non-direct questions like tell us about yourself or walk us through your resume. This is your chance to sell yourself. Google elevator pitch. This will get you pointed in the right direction. Generally answer the question using the following criteria: education, skills, achievement, and experience. Direct questions, you could ask stuff like, what have you done to prepare yourself for a career in the fire service? What is blank fire department's mission, vision, core values, and explain how you would best exemplify these statements or values. Integrity is an important part of the fire service. How do you show integrity in your everyday life? Again, it is so important that you research your department that you've applied to. Be situational style questions. You're captain and a firefighter in a burning building. You notice the floor is spongy. What do you do? Try to stick to the SAR or STAR technique when answering these style questions. And then again, if you want, you can use the plus, what you've learned from the situation, or what you would do differently next time. There'll be behavior style questions. Have you ever been in a stressful situation? How did you handle it? Try to explain the situation, how you handled it, what you learned from it, and what you might do differently next time. Might be firefighter related questions. There are 3 extinguishers on the table. Can you tell us what kind they are and what extinguishing capacities they have? Know your ifs inside and out. Just because you have the same credential as the guy or girl waiting in the next room doesn't mean you are equal. Learn the material better than your competitors. Luck. It is very difficult to get a job in the fire service. With patience and perseverance, you'll have your dream job. Keep working hard and don't get discouraged. Most people don't get hired the first, the second, or third time they apply. Start now. This way, when your dream city comes up, you'll be ready. For this week's online number 4 homework assignment, please pick one of the following certificates and upload to DC Connect. All these certificates will also be posted in DC Connect.